Hey folks, Mike Johnson here. If it's got wheels and an engine, you're in the right place. On this channel, we dive into car repairs, maintenance tips, and everything you need to keep your ride running smooth. If you're into cars and want to keep learning, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. All right, enough talking. Let's get into it.
Replacing a suspension arm can be difficult, especially if the vehicle's suspension is rusty and corroded. Separating the ball joint from the stub axle can also be tricky if you've never done the job before. And, oh yes, you'll want to have your car's alignment checked after replacing the control arm. Cost of replacing the front lower control arm. If you decide to have your control arm professionally replaced, which is a smart move if you're unsure of your mechanical prowess, expect to pay between €500 and over €1,000. The job can be even more expensive if you have a luxury or high-end performance car. If you decide to tackle the job yourself, expect to pay around €50 to €100 for a new control arm. Again, if you have a luxury car, the cost may be higher. What tools do you need to replace your front lower control arm? The tools needed to replace a front lower control arm vary according to the type of car you have. But, in general, you'll need a ball joint separator, optional, breakaway bar jack and jackstands, long-handled diagonal cutters, optional, large hammer pickle fork, optional, lever bar ratchet wrench and appropriately sized sockets and wrenches, safety goggles, torque wrench, wheel chocks should you do the work yourself. Replacing the front lower control arm is straightforward on some cars. But on others, it can be a real challenge. The level of difficulty depends very much on the vehicle's suspension design. If you're dealing with a McPherson strut suspension, the job is generally fairly easy. On the other hand, if you're working on a torsion bar suspension, well, good luck. If you have any doubts, it's a good idea to leave the job to a professional. You'll save yourself a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. If you have any doubts about replacing the control arm yourself, it's best to leave the job to a professional mechanic. How to change a front suspension arm. Now for the fun part, replacing the control arm. Are you ready to grab a wrench and get dirty? Yes, I am. Before you start, though, keep in mind that all vehicles are different. Be sure to follow the repair information for your specific application. Repair manuals, such as those from Chilton, are useful, but an all-data subscription is even better. AllData offers single vehicle subscriptions for do-it-yourselfers that provide detailed factory repair information. Warning: in some cases, the vehicle suspension spring must be compressed before removing the control arm. Failure to do so may result in serious personal injury. Note: the following are general guidelines for educational and entertainment purposes only. Consult your vehicle's factory information for specific repair instructions and recommended safety procedures. The diagram below describes the replacement of a front suspension arm in a McPherson strut suspension. Removing the suspension arm. 1. Put on your safety glasses. 2. Use a cutting bar to loosen the wheel nuts. Do not remove nuts completely at this stage. 3. Lift and support the vehicle safely using a jack and jackstands. Chock the rear wheels and apply the parking brake. 4. Remove wheel nuts by hand. Then remove the wheel and tire assembly. 5. Unbolt the stabilizer bar, if fitted, from the control arm. Unbolt the stabilizer bar from the control arm. 6. Remove the cotter pin from the castellated nut. There are several ways of doing this. I prefer to use a pair of long-handled diagonal cutters. Grasp the circular, closed, end of the cotter pin with the pliers. Then pull the pin outwards while pushing the pliers against the stub axle for leverage. Remove the cotter pin from the castellated nut. Note: make sure the axle shaft is not overextended during the control arm removal process. Damage may result. Suspension arm installation. 1. Compare the new control arm with the old control arm to ensure that both are of the same design. 2. Install the new control arm in the frame mounting bracket. 3. Reinstall the bolts securing the control arm to the frame. Do not fully tighten the bolts at this time, you will tighten them later to specification. Reinstall the bolts securing the control arm to the frame. 4. Slide the ball stud into the stub axle. 5. Install the castle nut on the ball joint stud. Use a torque wrench to tighten the castle nut to the manufacturer's specifications. 6. Install a new cotter pin. Control arm can be replaced in the castellated nut. In conclusion, changing a front suspension arm may seem daunting, but with the right tools and a bit of patience, it can be accomplished successfully. Remember to always prioritize safety by using proper lifting techniques and protective gear. By following the steps outlined in this video, you can ensure a smoother ride and improved handling for your vehicle. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more helpful automotive tips and tutorials.